we go. Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News. Excuse me, where everything is connected. What's going on, guys? I am right on time. However, I'm trying to figure something out. Okay. I am trying to stream to YouTube and Rockfin at the same time. I think I am live. I don't know. Trying to be live. It looks like I'm live. I guess I'm live on Rockfin too. So yeah, I am going to assume that I'm live on Rockfin. Oh, I see. Hold on. Maybe I need to do something. Hold on, guys. I think I'm almost live. Here we go. Just trying to figure it out. Okay. So I think I've got that figured out. All right. I am now currently live on both YouTube and Rockfin at the moment. And I'm going to start doing... So I'm trying to do a couple of different things starting today. And there are various reasons for the things that I am doing. And I probably won't go very in depth in this video about the reasons or why the hows, the hows, the whys, and the wherefores. But so this video is going to be just climate change centered, and probably will be a little bit shorter today. I think what I'm going to do is try and come back and do a politically centered video. And I'm not sure about what time. This may be shortly after I finish this video, or maybe later today. I'm not sure. I haven't really figured it out. This is kind of all a work in progress. But, you know, every couple months I have to change things up for reasons. Yes, you can see me live on Rockfin too. I am currently live on Rockfin. Dual lives. Do it live. Yeah, so anyways, welcome to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. I'm connected two times on YouTube and Rockfin, so thank you for tuning in. Cognitive Dissonance says. Duncan McCown. Oz LaFave says change is good. What's up? Sweet Life, how you doing? Alexi, what's up? Everybody is here as far as the early folks. Currently I have 42 watching, 27 likes. Judy Truitt, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. First time I really experienced cognitive dissonance was after 9/11, right? Yeah. That was a good time for the old, you know, we call it CD in the scientific community. It's like ED, but different, you know. We call it CD. Hope you guys like my comedy jokes. Anyways, we've got 48 viewers, 32 likes. Please like up the video. And if you are new, you know what to do. But yeah, so we're going to jump into some climate change news. Hey, Poppy, how you doing? Rich Diana says, AOC says we've got 12 years to save us. That's not very progressive. Well, maybe. I'd say it's progressive on the level that, 12 years is shorter than a lot of politicians are, and also scientists are trying to tell us we've got, 2 more decades or 3 more decades, 20 or 30 or 40 or 60 more years. So if you're in the 10 or 12 year ballpark, but we had 12 years 2 years ago, right? So if I'm doing my math tables correctly, 12 years 2 years ago means we've only got 10 years. Because I can count. I know that I can count. I remember learning how to count when I was a child, and I think I still remember how to count. TCR says, imagine being new to this chat and channel. Sure. Imagine just kind of stumbling into the news, the real news about climate change. Imagine. For the very first time. Imagine kind of like, I can totally imagine, because I actually was that person maybe 5-6 years ago now. Imagine kind of understanding that climate change was a thing, and then maybe running across a Guy McPherson video and going, hold on a second, wait. And then you start looking really hard at the issue, and then you're like, oh. But that's exactly what this channel is here for, is to kind of usher people along into that understanding very quickly, right? There are a lot more climate change channels out there. There are a lot more people talking about climate change on the YouTubes and on the internets. It's become something of a popular topic now. But the people that really kind of understand it on the level that we understand it are still fairly few. They're getting bigger by the day, but it's hard for people to really like swallow that pill. The green pill, if you will. You've got the red pill, you've got the blue pill, and then there's the green pill. You don't really want the green pill. You may want the red or the blue pill. You don't want the green pill. We're the Care Bears. Yes, indeed. I should probably make my logo like a Care Bear. That would be hilarious. I think the hour is late. Yeah, sorry for the buffering, guys. I know. So I've got a couple of things running, so I don't know if this. I kind of assumed that this might. Make my stream a little bit more difficult. Does the black pill have probiotics? Silver A says, with the world on fire as your belly logo for the Care Bear. Yeah, like a burning planet. That's kind of awesome. Okay. So yes, extremely warm temperatures still going on in the southlands of the United States. Getting into the 80s in some places. It's November 10th. Somebody just said in the chats that 70 was the low. That's amazing. In the South, 70 is a low on November 10th. I don't know. I mean, probably not something that is out of the realm of happening. We just know that it's happening more. So, again, extremely warm weather going on in the South on November 10th. Should you be worried? I'll let you decide. Let's go on to the 29th storm named this year, breaking a record. This year is, we are breaking records this year. That's what we're doing, 2020. Breaking records in climate change. We are in a climate crisis. This is from Now This. Subtropical storm Theta formed in the Atlantic Ocean on Monday, officially making 2020 the most active hurricane season on record. This year has now seen 29 storms, which breaks the previous record of 28 storms set back in 2005. 2005, famous year, the year of Hurricane Katrina. And again, more news, the Weather Channel about Theta. And if you're worried about where you're at, you are here. We are here. If you're wondering where we're at in the world of climate change, and of course, record-breaking wildfires, record-breaking temperatures, record-breaking hurricanes, record-breaking floods. What could it all mean? I don't know. I don't know. Floods in Jamaica from Hurricane Eta still happening. Are happening recently. Wild. Yeah, this tweet from David Llama. My thoughts with the people of Jamaica dealing with terrible floods and mudslides at the moment. As a result of Tropical Storm Eta, the UK government must assist our friends in the Caribbean region if it is requested. Eta still bringing destruction. The zombie storm known as Eta. Give me 1 second, actually. Sorry about that. Still looking at Eta. Tropical storm Eta moving slowly and may linger in the Gulf the rest of the week. Still a tropical storm, still, providing damage and destruction. And still in the Gulf. So it's just the storm that just won't end. Now centered in the southern Gulf of Mexico, where it's stalled near the western tip of Cuba. Bands of rain and gusty winds, occasionally over 30 miles per hour, continue to feed into parts of Florida. Flood watches continue in parts of South Florida, where conditions remain saturated from Eta's heavy rainfall the past few days. Tropical storm watch is in effect for western Cuba, including Havana. Tropical storm conditions are possible in this area through Tuesday. So yeah, they're still calling it to track. Now they're calling it to track towards Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and the panhandle of Florida. So who knows? This storm just will not stop. That's fairly wild. I don't know if I remember a storm lasting this long and being this damaging for this long. It's fairly wild. Let's move on to a tweet from Go Green. What Brazil is doing will impact every life form on the planet, burning down the Amazon, fueling global warming and climate change. Amazon fires cause Brazil's CO2 emissions to jump. Emissions jumped 10% in 2019, accelerating as much as 20% in 2020. Do I remember hearing somebody saying, like, the nations of the world are on track to reach their climate targets? Do I remember somebody saying that? I don't know. Seems a little ridiculous. Moving on to this tweet from Greta Thunberg, rightly says, we can treat a crisis like a crisis, as we have seen because of coronavirus. Treating the climate crisis like a crisis, that could change everything overnight. Citizens' assemblies, hashtag burning pink. Yeah. What have I been saying this whole time? The extent of coronavirus, the coronavirus season, if you will. I have been saying this the entire time. If we treated climate change like coronavirus, imagine what we could do very quickly. Look what we did. We lowered emissions 17% just by treating coronavirus like coronavirus. And that was just a happenstance. That was just fallout from, taking coronavirus seriously. Oh my gosh. We happened to take climate change seriously at the same time. Whoa. Imagine that. So we were given a blueprint. The question is whether anybody wants to do anything with that blueprint. Kuro sent me an interesting video of, I guess this guy is a climate scientist. Bill McGuire wrote a book called Skyseed about the future as pertains to geoengineering. So when climate change starts to really kind of take us over the cliff, he imagines a world, or imagines a scenario in which governments are, kind of forced to use their last line of defense as in geoengineering or tech fixes, and the inevitable consequences from that being not so good. So here's what the book looks like. If y'all want to maybe pick this up and read it, it looks interesting. I may actually pick it up myself. Skyseed by Bill McGuire. Hacking the earth might be the last thing we ever do. Moving on to just October on record. If you're wondering if climate change is all a hoax, or if it's just not that bad, or it's just not as bad as they say. The Biden's administrations is going to come in and take care of climate change. So we're all saved, right? Trump is out, Biden's in, we're all saved. No, well, this is where we're at in 2020 as far as Siberian sea ice. And if you want to, let's do the trend line. Let's do the game of the trend line. Here is the low point trend line. And that puts us at no sea ice when? We've got maybe a couple years left, maybe we got another 5. And, I think the mean trend line is somewhere in here, which puts us out maybe to 2030. If you're playing along at home. And let's go on to some more ideas about the Arctic. Why do we seem to have 2 different narratives about the Arctic? Academic climate science and old physics climate science. You remember heat and ice don't mix. Why does it seem like we need to clean out academia, since it seems to have a certain aroma? That's what tweeted by Larry79115. So he is retweeting this from Christopher Cartwright. Let's have the usual look at the D+7 forecast. This is for November 16th, 2020, and check. So that's the forecast for the next week, I guess, and check Antarctica. Wow, plain hilarious. Let's allow Zeke, Glenn, Michael, Christoph, Val, and others to tell us everything is fine, everything will be fine. Looking at plus 20 C, over average, in the Arctic. And that is in November Look at Antarctica, the temperature anomaly in Antarctica, which is what he is saying wow to. Antarctic heating up next this year. It's not some angles of Earth rotation, meaning just the Arctic. It's like maybe the whole Earth tweeting up. This is a reply to this tweet. But look at that. Temperature anomaly is into the 20s. 20 C temperature anomaly. And also mirrored by the Arctic. Oh my God. That's not good. Moving on to another tweet from Go Green. Only 80 left. Sumatran rhinos, like the land that it inhabits, is unlike anything else in this world. Small in stature and docile by nature, the animal sports a coat of black fur and sings songs like a dolphin. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but just going into it a little bit. Sumatran rhinos are one of the most endangered large mammals on the planet, with no more than 80 left in the wild. To shed light on the animal's precarious situation, this episode of the Manga Bay, well, there's a podcast by Manga Bay Explorers podcast, speaks with conservation biologist Wulan Pusparini and Manga Bay senior correspondent Jeremy Hance about the unique challenges of conserving the creatures. Well, so we're down to maybe 80, and it says possibly as few as 30 still in the wild, leaving their future in doubt. I don't know how much doubt we could possibly have about that, where that's going. Moving on to a tweet from Peter Kalmus. Ask yourself why 3 decades of international meetings and protocols accomplish precisely nothing, and things are starting to finally move now. And he thinks the answer is the grassroots movement, i.e. Greta Thunberg, Extinction Rebellion, Sunrise, et cetera, the many organizations and movements going now to try to create awareness around the climate change situation. Yes, we need big international agreements, and eventually they will matter, but only... Okay, so moving on to the final thing I want to cover today is this from Jim Baird. Retweeting this article, the Federal Reserve is evaluating and investing in ways to deepen its understanding of the full scope of implications of climate change. Well, we're going to, get a budget for some studies and conduct some studies and get the budget together. Golly gee, hope this doesn't take too long. You might find yourself behind the curve there, as in you probably already are, and interconnections between markets and financial institutions. As if markets and financial institutions in the economy is the only thing that matters, or somehow matters at all in the face of climate change. Eventually, climate change will let you know these things don't matter at all. But anyways, let's get into the story a little bit. This is from yesterday. In first for Fed, U.S. Central Bank says climate poses stability risks. You don't say. The U.S. Federal Reserve for the first time called out climate change among risks enumerated in its biannual financial stability report and warned about the potential for abrupt changes in asset values in response to a warming planet. Acute hazards such as storms, floods, or wildfires may cause investors to update their perceptions of the value of real or financial assets suddenly. Fed Governor Lael Brainerd says in comments attached to the report released Monday, chronic hazards such as slow increases in mean temperatures or sea levels, or a gradual change in investor sentiment about those risks introduce the possibility of abrupt tipping points or significant swings in sentiment. Brainerd said, such abrupt price changes from climate-related disasters could also create difficult-to-predict knock-on effects through financial markets, the report said, particularly because not enough is understood or disclosed about the true extent of exposures to climate risks. Increased transparency through improved measurement and more standardized disclosures will be crucial. Increased transparency, yeah. I would hope so. It is vitally important to move from the recognition that climate change poses significant financial stability risks to the stage where the quantitative implications of those risks are appropriately assessed and addressed. So he's saying we should probably pay attention to this, and we should probably do it quickly, right? Monday's report comes just days after Joe Biden won the U.S. presidential election against President Donald Trump, who has downplayed the risks of climate change. Biden has promised to put fighting climate change back on the U.S. policy agenda. Let's hope that's real. And that, my friends, is the end of this particular live stream. Concludes the climate change. Oh, I think I went backwards there. All right. Live stream from Black Bear News today, guys. I will probably be back with another stream a little later. But thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you wish to support this channel, there are links below. Yes, and this was also simulcast on Rockfin. Still going on Rockfin. I think there might be a few other people over there watching on Rockfin. Please go check out Rockfin as well. It's a channel where many progressive, they call it free thinking media, progressive channels, etc., are over there doing their thing. But thank you so much, Oz Lefave. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Kevin. We wish we could give you a living wage for all your thoughtful and intelligent work, informing and entertaining us all. You are part of the solution by informing us all. Thank you so much, Oz. Muzza, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Boiled Rope Lamppost, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't really know what time I'm going to do the next thing. If I'm going to do 2 live streams a day, I'm going to have to figure out when or where or how that's going to happen. But anyways, thank you for being here. I will be back with this particular live stream again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until next time, peace. When is my interview? Oh, my interview with Uphill Media, or what is now known as Roar Media, will be at 10 a.m. on Friday morning. 10 a.m. Pacific. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you on the next one.